This tournament uses the Landsraad Stronghold cards. For more information on these cards and their creation, visit our website at www.landsrad-vegas.com or use the QR code available on screen. Arrakis. At the start of battle phase, collect 2 spice from the spice bank. Carthag. Before any player takes their shipment and movement action, you may send one of your forces here. Habanya Siege. Forces starting their movement action here have an additional 2 movement beyond any current limits. Siege Tabber. Increase your free revival by 1. This ability may allow you to break your current revival limit. However, this ability does not allow you to pay for revival beyond the regular limit. Tuik Siege. After a battle here, you may send 2 forces that would have gone to the tanks to your reserves instead. Shield Wall. You may ship off-planet reserves here at stronghold rates. If you are the Fremen, you may use your shipment action to send your reserves into this territory. Those forces cannot move this turn. This stronghold bonus card only becomes available once the 4th worm has appeared and the shield wall is now a stronghold. Ixian Hidden Mobile Stronghold. At the end of the bidding phase, copy 1 stronghold advantage of your choice for any other stronghold card you control. This lasts until the end of the turn. The Ixian faction was not in this tournament, and this card is included here only to provide a complete description of the set.
Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Adam, aka the Banana Smasher.
And I'm Chuck.
And we're going to walk you through the GenCon 2025 Dune Tournament Finals. Since the Landsraad of Las Vegas sponsored this event and hosted it, we are going to be using the Landsraad rule set for this game, which you can find on our website, which is linked in the description below. This is a 5-player final since the 6th player in attendance could not make it. And just to catch everyone up, we are doing a classic factions with a random deal. And Chuck here actually competed in the tournament.
Yes, I played as the BG, which normally would be left out under the WBC rules, but in this one it was a random draw, and I had an opportunity to trade, but BG is a great faction. You have voice, you have the opportunity for a prediction win, you have the five value leaders, so yeah, I went with that one. We did have to leave out the Emperor because it was a random draw, and he was the one faction that was not drawn during the initial draw.
And so, walking in, you're the Bene Gesserit. Did you have anybody you were really vying for to try to ally with? And if you don't mind sharing, who did you predict?
Well, actually, I predicted spacing because I was familiar with Dylan's play, and I thought that I could help him to probably force a win at some point in mid-game.
And then just to catch everyone up, we have Sijima, Matthew, and Colin, all newer players, not to Dune, but to a Dune tournament. Dylan has actually made every Landsraad final, so it was a pretty safe bet with that prediction there. The Red Chasm and the Habanya Ridge Flat are our first 2 spice blows for turn 1, and during the bidding phase, everyone was able to snag a card except the Atreides, while Harkonnen grabbed a few. He ships there into Habanya Ridge, or the Habanya Siege, and then moves to Habanya Ridge Flat.
Yes, I chose to advise this thing because I had my eye on Habanya Ridge Siege for the Stronghold bonus.
Yeah, the Stronghold bonuses are really going to shake things up and determine people's shipping, moving, and general placement throughout the game. So it looks like Atreides is heading to 2x and grabs a blow.
Yeah, I chose to advise there because I thought maybe I could help spacing block up that Stronghold at some point. It was just a more strategic place to have an advisor this time.
And then it looks like you're shipping down to Habanya to grab that nice fabled Habanya bonus. And then the Fremen player is actually bribed by the spacing to attack Atreides in the blow. An early attack on the Atreides means they have to reveal secrets and cards prematurely, and at the beginning they are very fragile. So forcing them into conflict really disrupts their resource management and makes them a lot weaker in the mid-game. And now we have the Spacing Guild actually turning on the Fremen, bribing them to attack the Atreides. They're now weak and locked up, and the Spacing Guild player, being a 3-time finalist, took advantage of that. So he made his own opportunity here, and he capitalized on it. In the battle for the Red Chasm, we have Atreides with 3 forces and the Fremen's 5. The Atreides asks the Fremen what is their weapon, in which they respond, "I am not playing a weapon." With Atreides knowing his leader was safe, he throws out a 4 and kills Jamis, collecting 2 leader spice upon his victory. Well done, Atreides. The Spacing Guild saw a little bit of card knowledge from the Fremen. The Fremen is down a leader, and he is able to use this moment to negotiate a throw. Most throwaway battles entail one side, the losing side, playing their lowest leader and dialing 0. With the result of the battle, the Spacing Guild keeps all 6 forces in the territory, and the Fremen 3 forces will go to the tanks, since they played their lowest available leader, and Spacing had a higher leader to beat them out. With that, we go to the spiced harvest phase, where the Atreides collects all 8 of the Red Chasm spice, and Harkonnen collects 9 of the Habanya Ridge flat spice. The Mentat pause phase is where stronghold cards are dealt out, and the Spacing Guild has not only Siege Tabor, which is a free +1 free revival, but also the 2x siege bonus, which really helps mitigate battle losses. So he is really gearing up, and he is prepared for a bloody game. The Harkonnen and Atreides receive their Carthag and Arrakis bonus respectively, which leaves the Bene Gesserit with their Habanya siege bonus.
Yeah, so I was looking at the possibility of being able to flip in Carthag and then have the 5 movement out of that stronghold to lots of places on the board.
Yeah, that really helps with the prediction and moves it along in the way that you want it, because you can flip, ship, and now you can move across the board, reinforcing certain strongholds or even abandoning Habanya at a key moment. And of course, the Shield Wall stronghold bonus is not activated yet because the 4th worm hasn't hit, which takes us to turn 2. A lot of players really need to start thinking about alliances and who they're going to ally with. Chuck, was there anyone you were really thinking about or hedging on allying with this turn, if there was a nexus?
I mean, I'm just looking for someone who can help me with prediction or help me to go for a traditional win, so it's about what resources I need, and at this time, card knowledge or spice would be great.
And that takes us to the second turn, where the storm moves 2 sectors. During the Spice Blow phase, the Sahaya Ridge blows, and there is a nexus on Spice Blow Pile B, which hits the Habanya Ridge flat, and then turns into the Salago South. And so, Chuck, go ahead and tell us what happens at the start of the Nexus.
So, Atreides immediately suggested that we ally, which I thought was a great idea because, as I was saying, I wanted more card knowledge and spice, and he was pretty rich with both, so I thought that would be a really good alliance.
With 19 spice, he actually has as much as the Harkonnen and the Spacing Guild put together. The Fremen took a bit of a beating last turn, so they're going to sit out this Nexus and gear up for the next one. With the Atreides and the Bene Gesserit allied, the Spacing Guild and Harkonnen form up, and it is a very deadly alliance this turn, as they are already in 3 strongholds, 1 more takes the known universe, and they are both going last. And so, Chuck, moving into the bidding round, were you at all worried about the positioning of the Spacing Guild and Harkonnen alliance?
Well, yeah, since they are going last and they are in 3 strongholds, it was a concern.
Especially for you at home watching, the HUDs here displaying the forces, traders, and spice, that's not public knowledge, that's simply for you guys. Chuck here had no idea the Atreides was so flush with 19 spice, as much as...
Well, I knew he had a little bit. I mean, he just collected a spice blow, so he had something.
But not as much as the entire alliance put together.
No.
Using all of that spice, Atreides strikes fast in the bidding phase, buying up the first 2 cards of the row, and then the Harkonnen and Spacing Guild alliance then buys up the rest of 3, not allowing Fremen or the Bene Gesserit to buy any cards this turn. As you know, the bidding round is the most important phase. It determines who can and cannot go for the win. Now, whether they take that risk is up to the player. However, the cards really determine who's going to come out on top and be the victor of these stronghold battles. So by buying all the cards, depriving a couple players of cards, The Spacing Guild and Harkonnen have really leveraged themselves in this round, putting themselves in a very strong position for the win attempt. Let's see if they go for it. From here we move to the revival phase, where the Fremen takes their 3 free revival, and the Harkonnen takes their 2, and we slip right into the ship and move phase, where all the action is about to happen. The Atreides ships in a single force into the Pasty Mesa, threatening the Family Atomics card to blow the shield wall. He then moves 3 forces from the Red Chasm to Sahaya Ridge.
When my ally shipped, I advised the sink, and then I reinforce Habanya Siege to defend against the upcoming probable win attempt.
With the Bene Gesserit and Atreides alliance making their stand in Habanya and Arrakis, the Fremen player is the last one to act before the Spacing and Harkonnen alliance take their play for the universe. The Spacing Guild actually does a very interesting move by interjecting here and formulates a on-planet reserves. With 12 forces in Tabor, it's very unlikely the Fremen will attack the Spacing Guild, and they just cannot reach 2x, so it's a very high-level maneuver. Fremen actually just take a turn off, grab a Spice Blow in Sulago South, and hope for the best. And with the Fremen hitting that Spice Blow, the Harkonnen then go for the win. They ship down 8 forces into Habanya Siege. Chuck, were you thinking about flipping at this moment?
Well, I can't because it's a Spacing Harkonnen win attempt. And actually, having discussed the current card state with my ally, I feel I have a pretty good chance with Prescience and Voice to defend against the Harkonnen.
They are looking pretty scary with 4 traitors, haven't flipped a single one, 8 cards, and a lot of them mysteries to the Atreides. But as Chuck said, they are uncontested in 3 strongholds, so he has to stand his ground here.
So for you viewers at home, we have edited down this video to cut out any off-camera discussions and any dead time during the video to give you a condensed version that's more action-packed. So that being said, off-camera, my ally and I had a discussion about the cards in Harkonnen's hand. And so, knowing what he had in his hand, I decided that I was going to voice Lasgun, that he must play a Lasgun in this battle.
Well, Chuck, why would you do that?
I had a pocket shield.
Very nice. So yeah, all those people are going to be blown to bits, barring traitor. So did you have a safe leader at this time?
I did.
All right, so it's pretty much a guarantee at this point. They're not going to be able to achieve victory this turn.
Correct.
With the shield Lasgun and a safe leader, did you feel the need to even ask a prescience question?
Well, I did decide to ask what his leader was going to be. We'll see if that was relevant.
And there you have it, Lasgun Shield Explosion with a safe one of UA, and Harkonnen spending a lot of troops, a lot of spice. Oh, and there we have it, Traitor by Chuck. What's going on there?
Well, so I asked his leader, and I knew he was going to play Beast Raban, so I got to flip a traitor on the Harkonnen, which is always fun.
Yeah, it's always good to flip that switch, but also there was a key move there demonstrating that you had the shield. Just kind of says to the table, hey, the Lasgun's gone due to the traitor pull, but my leader is unkillable, pushing all the aggression onto the ally, both strengthening your prediction win for the Spacing Guild, but also preserving a lot of your own troops and strength. So well done there, Chuck.
Appreciate it. It was a tough decision if I should reveal my pocket like that, knowing that I had the traitor, but I did feel it was going to be a deterrent in some future battles.
With the Lasgun out of circulation, definitely the smart play. We move on to the Spice Collection phase, where Atreides and Fremen collect their respective Spice Blows, and Harkonnen, Atreides, and Spacing Guild collect all of their taxes for the turn. We now move into turn 3 during the Storm phase. The Harkonnen actually reveals a weather control and moves the storm 10 sectors. Now that is essential because not only does the Fremen Spice Grubbers take a little bit of damage there, losing half their forces, but it also still forces the Bene Gesserit to go first. Then we progress into the Spice Blow and Nexus phase, where there will actually be no Nexus, and the South Mesa Spice Blow will blow for 10, thereby the 2x Siege, and the Old Gap will blow for 6, up by Arrakis. Now, Chuck, had a worm come up, were you thinking that you'd ditch the Atreides at any point, or were you thinking about staying?
I think it was still a really strong alliance, so I would have stayed.
Not even for the Spacing or Harkonnen, who had a lot of treachery cards?
At this time, I felt that we knew a lot about what there was in their hand, and so I think we were pretty good.
All right, and now we move to the bidding phase, which is interesting because the Spacing Guild is full, so there will only be 4 cards up for bid. And the Atreides and Bene Gesserit are the only ones who have shown cards and retained them in their hand. So with a good memory, all the players know that the Bene Gesserit have a shield, the Atreides have a projectile weapon, and no one else has shown or revealed any other cards. One thing to note is the Harkonnen and the Spacing Guild are very spice poor. So the Harkonnen were actually locked out of the bidding round this turn, and that gave Atreides, Bene Gesserit, and the Fremen an ability to fill up on the cards this turn. So with the current card counts, we're moving into the revival phase, where the Fremen, of course, takes their 3 free, and Harkonnen, being spice poor, only takes their 2 free revival. Now with our stronghold bonus cards, the Harkonnen actually activate the Carthag bonus and sends 4 free, 1 force into Carthag, and no, the Bene Gesserit do not receive an advisor because it is a send, and they only advise on shipments and not sendments.
So then I have to decide where to flip, and I decided to flip in Carthag because it gave me access to ornithopters, and then in Tuix so that I could actually add more troops into that territory. As an advisor, it would have been blocking me from being able to attack, so now I take my reserve and I move it from the Polar Sink and move it into Tuix to attack Spacing there.
Now, Chuck, that actually puts you and your ally in 4 strongholds altogether. Was it your prerogative at this point to go for the win?
No, my plan was really just to take Tuix on this turn, and a win attempt was not yet on my radar.
So once again, the Spacing Guild player is going to take advantage of his shipping and moving as he wishes. He is interjecting between the Bene Gesserit and the Fremen player to cross-planet ship from Siege Tabor to Tuix Siege. He then moves all of those forces out of Tuix Siege into the Spice Boat to get a little spice. Him and his alliance are certainly spice poor at this point, and the reasoning behind that was he really wanted to force the Fremen into conflict with the Atreides and Bene Gesserit alliance, especially now that they have some forces, they have some cards now. They might be able to push the Atreides or Bene Gesserit out of one of the remaining strongholds, and with Harkonnen's vast amount of troops in Carthag, they might be able to stop the win this turn. Fremen instead decides to grab a spice blow, thinking that the Harkonnen stack in Carthag will be able to stop the one Bene Gesserit, and the abundant amount of troops in Tabor will deter any invasion. It is now the Harkonnens' turn to ship a move. They play a Gola card, reviving 5 of their troops, and with the help of his ally, they then ship 6 of those troops down into Carthag. Did you want to flip or advise, Chuck? What was the thought process here?
Yeah, so normally I would have flipped because I would have been terrified of a Harkonnen leader capture, but I was sitting on a Kurama in my hand. So, and I knew that with prescience and voice, I could protect the leader I was fighting with. So I was hoping to drain him of a lot of resources, not lose 2 leaders, and that would have been a great setup for the next turn win attempt.
Absolutely, because that really knocked that large stack out of Carthag, but you don't have to worry about it because you not flipping, I guess, scared him off because he moved to the Pasty Mesa, and now he is using Hadger. Oh, so he wants to fight you in 2x then. Perhaps that's why the Spacing Guild moved out in the first place. So now you are flipping here. What's the causation for that?
Well, I honestly, it was just that's a lot of troops, and at that point I was risking more in losing all of those troops versus the one I was going to lose in Carthag with that other gambit.
After the Harkonnen do their ship and move, the Atreides is next, and they're actually proposing right now to invade the Spacing Guild. What was your thought on that?
I was like, are you sure? I mean, we're in a pretty good position to go for the win next turn when we're like not going first and all these other things, but he was like, I think I got it.
And they're not even going for the win right now, the Harkonnen and the Spacing Guild.
Yeah, but now we can. We're uncontested in 3.
Excellent point. So yeah, if he can take the Spacing Guild in Tabor, then that's the known universe right there.
Yeah, so he said he thought he could get it, so I said, sure, why not? Let's go for it. Because I was not in any battles this turn, I didn't need any battle spice. I had proposed that I'd pay for 3 of his shipping.
Wise play, because you didn't quite know how much spice he had, and since you didn't have any battles, you don't need it. Now, I think with the 6 spice, you actually played a Karama here, didn't you?
Yeah, so now I'm playing a Karama, and that prevents the Spacing Guild from collecting that shipping spice.
Yeah, that's a very interesting use of Karama, hardly ever seen. But in this game, the Atreides was actually taking very precise track of people's spice counts. He knew he'd be able to kill the Spacing Guild leader, and with his combined leader and force total, he'd be able to win the battle. Now, the Spacing Guild does an excellent play here with the True Trance, asking the Bene Gesserit, is Atreides your prediction? In the hopes that the Bene Gesserit would say yes. Was he your prediction?
No, Spacing was my prediction.
Yeah, so it didn't work. He wanted to kind of fake the Atreides out, and with a yes answer, Atreides might feel that he'd have to dial off his last troop, and they'd receive another turn. Diving into this final battle here, Chuck, what was the voice?
Atreides used the voice to command no poison defense, no snooper. So his weapon would be able to get through. And then he used the prescience to ask the Spacing Guild which weapon, and Spacing responded with no weapon.
Since the battle is for the game, the Spacing Guild and the Fremen players do a safe leader swap, giving a 1-for-1 trade, which is a smart move, especially for the final battle of the game. Now, Atreides does hit the Wombo combo, killing the Spacing Guild leader and protecting his own. And the Spacing Guild does not have enough spice to spice all of his troops.
It's almost as if that 6 spice that I Karamaed would have made a difference.
Wow, would you look at that? Exactly 3 on the dial, giving them 10.5. That was the exact difference. If they had that 6 spice, Chuck, yes, they'd be able to beat the Atreides.
My ally was really clever in this one.
Yeah, he was on the ball. He was doing his Mentat calculations perfectly. If the Spacing Guild had that 6 spice, he would have beaten the Atreides in the final battle for the game. So there you have it, an Atreides Bene Gesserit stronghold victory on turn 3. Congratulations to those players. With that, I will just close this video out saying that we are very much looking forward to the next tournament, which is Dice Tower West, right here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the home of the Landsraad. And in the year 2026, the dates of the convention are the 11th through the 15th of March. Now, the tournament is actually only running from the 12th through the 15th, but you can always come in a day early.
For the tournament, we always have pickup games and teaching games for people who aren't as familiar with Dune or need a refresher. And we're also doing a war chest tournament this year, aren't we?
That's right, we do have a war chest tournament, a singles and a teams, which for anybody who plays war chest, yeah, there will be a one-on-one tournament, 4 or 5 rounds, and then for the teams tournament, you will be paired off in teams, so you can pick your teammate, or you can just show up and have somebody randomly assigned or meet one there. It's a lot of fun. I highly suggest anyone coming out to the Dice Tower West convention to sign up for one of our 3 tournaments we're hosting, and you can do that all on the Cardboard Events page.
Well, we'll also we'll put all the information up on our website as the tournament gets closer.
That's true too. Check out our website for not only rules updates, but event updates.